hear a voice. I squint and see a boy standing before me. His hair is silver, his skin is pale, and he stares up at me with the hard, glassy eyes. Soon his lips begin to move, but no sound comes out. What is he saying? I can't hear him, I can't hear him, I can't hear him, I can't hear him! I try to leave, but something about the boy holds my gaze, watch his face, expressionless as his lips slowly flutter. What is he trying to say? It's a phrase, I can almost make it out. It starts with the S, then there's an E. We see it now, the letters begin to fall together one after the other, faster and faster. Sealed verse. See my sister, stare at the boy with renowned ferocity, trying desperately to make out his next word. Dream. How does that mean? Just scream, I want to tear the walls down around me, but instead, I force myself to be calm. I can do this, I can do it for you. Slowly, ever so slowly, I pass out the letters that make out his final words. Forest of Myth. The forest. The next morning.
Just a dream. Even in my dreams, I'm hunting sealed verses.
Morning.
Morning, Yona.
What's wrong? Are you feeling sick too?
No, I had a strange dream.
What was it about?
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
'Cause I had a dream too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Me and this boy were playing a game together.
What boy?
What kind of game?
It was called Guess the Words.
Just ask the game, not who the boy is.
How did it work?
The boy would move his mouth, but no words would come out. Then I had to guess what he was trying to say. It was hard. I wanted to play hide and seek, but we had to play his dumb game instead.
So what did he say?
I don't know. All I could figure out was dream and forest of myth. But don't worry, I'm gonna study hard so that next time I can figure out everything. We should play a game together sometime too.
So she got the same.
Sure, Yona.
So the same thing happened to her.
Don't forget the.
Oh yeah, the melon.
Something troubling you, lad?
It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Come on, I need to go ask Popola something. What's up, Popola?
Oh, hi. I just got a strange letter in the mail.
Wait, didn't the postman give me that to deliver to her? What? Oh no, this is different. I was hoping I might be able to... Wait. Events in Dream the Village. I was hoping I might be dreamable to get your advice. Dream on the matter. Recently there have been dream reports. Dream. Of a certain dream of dream evil. Dream. Empty dream curse. Dream. Evil dream words. Dream and dream. Someone dreams dream.
That is certainly one bizarre piece of writing.
Who's it from?
The mayor of a small village in the Forest of Myth. It's a wooded area up north.
The Forest of Myth?
They're usually a bright and cheerful group of people. Something like this is very out of character for them.
It's not
I
character
have
for
a bad
anybody.
feeling about this.
I'll check it out.
You will? But...
Don't worry about it. I've got business there anyway.
Oh, well, all right. Thank you.
I was gonna say, I think it's out of place for pretty much anybody. How many, I mean, I tried to talk to her about it, but nothing kind of came from it. Yeah, I mean, medicinal herbs and wheat, I can buy all of those. But it's fishing up the sardines. Pain in the ass. Yeah, let's save over here. It's been a minute. Almost 8 hours. Whew. That's just today. Ah, now we can speak to him.
Beware. Beware the words.
The words? What do you mean?
Contagious words. Those who dream.
Those who dream?
Hold a moment. There is a strange new sensation in my mind.
Reese's voice Vice. Vice rose in a quizzical way.
It is not quizzical.
What's going on?
The villager's body shuddered and he slowly opened his
Perhaps we
eyes.
should start by asking this man.
Who are you?
We heard something happened to this village, so we came to see if we could help.
The myth status.
If you can speak to me, I must have caught you in my dream.
In your dream?
Mayor explained. The past few weeks, a mysterious disease called the Death Dream spread across the forest of myth. Those who caught it were cursed to fall asleep and live forever within the world of their own dreams. The village mayor determined the Death Dream was spread from person to person by spoken words, but before he could learn more, the disease took him as well. I stared at the mayor, his mouth twitching slightly.
Now see here. Are
He
you
said.
saying that we have been absorbed into your dream?
Well, Yes,
said the
I
mayor.
think you have.
In other words, we've caught the death dream?
Before the mayor could confirm my suspicion, Vice exploded with rage.
Ridiculous, preposterous, completely unfathomable on every conceivable level. I don't even recall falling asleep.
That's just how the death dream works.
Very polite, the mayor was clearly trying to brush aside the book's remark.
My remarks are not to be brushed aside, fool.
The mayor twisted his mouth into an embarrassed grimace and quickly changed the subject to me. Changed the subject to who I had seen and what they had discussed since coming to the village.
Something there must have caused you to enter my dream. A certain conversation, a specific word, something.
I could find no easy solutions. There were simply too many words to consider, too much random chatter, too many meaningless conversations.
Grimoire Vice does not engage in meaningless conversations.
The mere suggestion that Vice chose his words carelessly seemed to sting his pride.
It does not seem to sting my pride, you bloated gasbag of a narrator. It has demolished it utterly.
Oh god. Irritated, Vice looked skyward as if searching for answers in the heavens.
I was doing no such thing. Just leave me alone already.
The anger created by his harsh words bled over to me like a contagion. Oh my god. Wait, I said suddenly. Did someone just say contagion? Yes, I believe so. What of it? The villager told us to watch out for contagious words, right? The mayor leaned forward with a now renewed interest, pushing a star or advice aside in the process. Must have said something, right? Asked the mayor. Something specific combination of words. What was it? It's about dreaming or something that dreams, or what the hell was it? A sheep? Advice suddenly blown out the first thing that popped into his head. The others stared at him for a moment before slowly shaking their heads. After a few more minutes of thoughts, my face suddenly lit up. I remember, he said, those who dream. That's what he said, I'm sure of it. He produced a thick sheaf of papers from his pocket, flipped through them a few times before nodding his approval at me. Sounds right, he said, a stray sheep. He also mentioned something about it, but it was the last thing you heard before you fell asleep. He shook his head, his worn pencil stopped tracing lines across a lone piece of paper. The last month I've done nothing but study the disease we call the death dream. You know, I'm the mayor, right? It's my job to protect people from whatever comes along, but I've never expected a couple of outsiders to start entering people's dreams. He paused, a grimace crossing his face. I should probably be taking notes or something. Ice immediately fired back. I applaud the force of what it takes to research a disease in your dreams, he said. But perhaps we should bend your efforts to escape in this space instead of trying to understand it. His hand tied around his pencil, snapping off the tip. I've tried to escape. From the very first moment I realized I was locked inside my dream. I've been looking around for a way out, but I don't think it exists. And this is my dream, right? If there's an exit, I'd know about it. Paused for a moment, his unfocused eyes staring at nothing. My village was beautiful, he said, to no one in particular, and it was filled with the most wonderful people you could ever hope to meet. As his disease took hold, things changed. It's like someone took a sponge and soaked all the colour out of our lives. I just want us to be whole again, I want us to be free. I won't stop trying until it happens. I nodded in agreement. Wait a second, I didn't nod. Can it help? Well, just ask. And I did not just say that. Silence! Grimoire looked from me to the mayor and back again, his face filling with confidence. Grimoire Vice's face is always confident, thank you very much. See, Mayor, you told us that nothing can exist in this dream without your knowing of it. You seemed surprised to see us when we first arrived. Mayor slowly raised his head, realization dawning on his face. Oh my god, he said, you're right, I had no idea you were coming. Human imagination is a limitless engine, said Vice. And dreams are the fuel. If you can imagine an exit, then it must be so. With your permission, we shall search it out. Thank you, Suddenly. I don't know how I can repay you. Payment is not required. We are as eager as you to be done with this place. I mean, it suddenly felt as if you could breathe again. You'd almost forgotten what it was like. But look, you two. All of the departing forms of us, we're all counting on you. The mayor was struck with a sense of deja vu. Just before. Thought, but where? The mood darkened as he trudged through the forest. Hours earlier, it was still a new thing. He'd been confident they could get in, find the exit, and be home in time for dinner. But the deeper they went, the more the forest closed in around him. That must have made it difficult to see more of their foot in any direction. A moss-covered rock seemed determined to twist his ankle. More than once he'd been forced to steady himself on a rough bark of a tree, and his hands now left small trails of blood on everything he touched. Additionally, Vice was proven to be a spectacularly poor travelling companion, unhindered by either train or physical effort, spent most of his time urging me to pick up the pace and grumbling about this slow progress. When I left, the Vice muttered something about a legless turtle. About legless turtles being more adept at navigating the environment, I snapped. Just cram it for a second, would you? You don't have to walk. Leaning against the tree and trying to stretch the knots from his back. The stupid forest be so big, he thought to himself. Then when the words tumbled from his mouth, cacophony? Cacophony? Of insects sprang to life. Every imaginable form of buzz, click, and hiss roared out a volume that rattled his teeth. His hands over his ears and screamed to be heard. Vice, what's going on? The Vice's mouth moving, but he might as well have been shouting in a tornado. So screams the forest howled. And then, just as his ears seemed ready to tear from his head and go running for cover, the sound diminished. Hesitantly, he removed the hand from his left ear and listened to the creatures of the woods. Gee! Wooma! As the insect symphony dimmed another decibel, he began to detect patterns in the sound. This isn't random, he thought. It's not just white noise. It's something else. Just calling out, they were asking a question. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? Is this a riddle? I feel sort of forced, but maybe it's the key to getting out of this place. And I leave it to you to answer. 1 with it is lacking, 2 with it is ideal, 3 with it is dangerous. What is it? The answer is a secret. So is it a seesaw? I mean, I mean, you could say this about both, right? So, 2 people with a secret is ideal, but if 3 people had a secret, then it starts to become dangerous in case it starts to spread. But it's also the same thing with a seesaw. You can't work a seesaw with only 1 person. 2 with it is ideal, so obviously then you can go down. Really, if you have 3, it's dangerous. You can't have 1 person just balancing it down, then 2 people jump on the other end, get flying. Set the test to him, sighed and gave the only answer that made sense. Forest undergrowth parted before me like a rippling wave opening a new path. Forest arthropods are making a road for us. Pleased that passing the test, he moved on with new intensity. His body of relief from the undergrowth, but even greater cheer to his mind as they were on a path. Their journey had a purpose, as the forest has accepted us. I spun around to face his companion. Do not mistake the will of the forest for some happy pet you can suddenly befriend. You have no idea where this path leads. As he finished speaking, the pair turned a corner and found themselves facing a clear forest spring. Smiling, picked up a small rock and sent it skipping across the surface of the water. Good heavens, said Vice. His surprise was understandable. Each time the rock struck the surface of the water, a musical note rang out. The rock finally stopped me with a sense of the bottom of the spring. The ripples it left behind came together to form words. I enter through the window, but break no glass. When night falls, I vanish. What am I? Moonlight? Or sunlight, sorry. What suddenly bursts from the spring? Sunlight filtered through the trees and reflected off the moon. It should be a rainbow that spanned the entire horizon. Seen such a sight. When I thought night falls, I was like assuming it was the other way around when night disappears, but no, when night falls it means when night appears, it's finally here. So sunlight, yeah. In all my ears said very softly, I've never seen such a sight. Perhaps I've misunderstood the intentions of this place. Hey look, awakening Vice from his days. There's a house or something over there. That's in the direction of his friend's extended hands. Vice saw a small cottage nestled among the trees. That's weird, isn't it, Vice? I mean, who would build a house all the way out here? Walked over and pounded on the door. After a minute of solid banging, the door cracked open and a small man peered out. His body was cloaked from neck to toe in a large black cape, while his face was obscured by mist. But before he could get any further, the cloaked man held a hand up and began speaking. Fucking riddles, man! I have 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon, but end the night with 3. Who he was and what he was doing there, but he simply repeated the question. I suppose at least it's an easy one! What? How is this an easy one? 4 legs in the morning and 2 at noon. We'll end the night with 3. What? I don't know if it's because it's almost midnight, but what? I was gonna say like a man. How? I don't know. I have 4 legs in the morning and 2, like, I don't see how any of them can have 4 legs. Like, how does a man have 4 legs? Like, a man, a demon, or an angel have 4 legs? What? I mean, I'm just gonna say a man. It's like the most normal answer. He spoke a single. What? How? how? Okay. Oh, wait. I'm actually gonna look this up. Jeez. Wait. Yes. The answer is a human. 4 legs in the morning is a baby crawling. 2 legs in the afternoon is an older child or an adult that walks just using its legs. And 3 legs in the evening is an elderly person who uses a walking stick to help his or her walking because it acts like an extra leg. In this case, it counts as a 3rd leg. What? That's the most... That's the most... Okay. With that, the man flung his garment aside, revealing his true identity. You're the mayor. The small man slowly shook his head. I am not the mayor, you know, now listen to my words. Long ago I saw a version of you that was not yourself. Sorry, what's that mean? It will make sense in time. At present, I simply congratulate you on cracking the seal of the Death Dream. Now you must go to the person at the forest entrance. The man turned his seal and slammed the door behind him. As I watched, a seeped up from the ground and developed the cottage, arisen it from existence. When I and Vice returned to the forest entrance, they found the mayor leaning against a tree. As soon as he caught sight of the duo, he sprang to his feet and scrambled over to them. Good gravy, he said. You made it. You actually made it back. His left hand grasped my... I pumped it so fiercely it threatened to dislodge from the socket, while his right seized Vice by the cover and swung him through the air. By the heavens, stop shaking me, fool. I even told you if we were successful or not. He smiled broadly and shook his head. I'm just happy you're alive. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Himself from the mayor's eager handshake with a slight smile. Broke the Death Dream seal, he said. At least, I think we did. He beamed as I filled him in on the details. When the tale was done, the 3 of them lay down on the forest ground and fell asleep. I cocked my head. Hey, hang on a second. This is crazy. Why would we just lay down and go to sleep? See Shen's prattling, go to sleep, fool. Fighting against the rules of this place is futility itself. The mayor obediently reclined atop the grassy earth. Have you forgotten? Continued Vice. It is words that control the Death Dream. Words that allow us to move from place to place. No matter how unnatural they seem, the words are absolute. Therefore, if the words tell us to sleep, then sleep we shall. Once we do, the story will continue. With that, the trio found their eyes growing heavy, their breath slowing. This is the first time beyond the mayor. The first time I felt tired since I was imprisoned here. His words were cut off by a loud, long yawn, and he remembered nothing more. They might have slept for an hour or a year. When they awoke, things had a slightly more real quality to them. The mist felt thicker, the leaves greener. It was clear that they had awakened from their dream. Shook the mayor's shoulder gently. Good news, he said. I think we made it. Well, said the mayor in an old voice. We did it, I'm back. He blinked once and then again, as if not quite believing the sight before him. You two have no idea how much this means. Death Dream was spreading through our village and I wanted to, well, I thought I could figure out how to stop it. But I guess that wasn't the case. I must have caught the disease and became trapped in my own dream. Mayor started to stand and collapsed back to earth. He stared at his legs as if trying to remember how they worked. He glanced at me and shrugged. Without a word, the young man reached down and pulled the mayor to his feet. Real life may take some getting used to, said the mayor as a wide smile crossed his lips. We shall relearn in short order, I am sure. Said Vice, for now, you should return to your home and rest. No, said the mayor, I can't. Some of the villagers are still trapped in the Death Dream, I have to save them. To the divine tree in the center of the village, then bowed his head and prayed silently. This is a holy tree, he explained when the prayer was finished. It's the guardian of our village's history and memories. Superstition will only make our mission harder. We should not put our faith in the gods. May shook his head. Not the gods, the words. Legend says that our trees are home to a powerful magic known as a sealed verse. Seemed a goal had been found in the most unexpected of places. I say, this is certainly a stroke of luck. Said the goodbyes and mentioned the strange man who had given them a third riddle and mysterious words who had left with them. So a version of you that was not yourself. What in the world does that mean? Stared into space for a long moment. You know, he said softly, this is going to sound odd, but I had a feeling I'd seen you before too. I had to keep a straight face and failed, but the mayor didn't seem to notice. Deja vu, right? Anyway, I figure it's just some kind of illusion created by the death dream. Probably doesn't mean anything. The mayor noticed what his thoughts were racing. There's something wrong about the mayor and his words. What exactly is going on here? Riddle will prove to be the most difficult one of all.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh man, I've not read so much out loud like that in like forever. Jeez. Normally I'm like so used to just sitting there and reading, like, you know, kind of like quietly just reading in my head. But when it's so much like that, I'm just kind of just...
Now I can finally return to a normal life.
This is one of the most bizarre diseases I have ever encountered.
I know. That's why we have to help the other villagers, no matter what.
Dark execution magic. Summon magical spells from the ground to impale enemies, twice increase the number of spikes. Now this one's
For a
good.
sealed verse, that didn't take much effort.
Yes, all a touch too easy if you ask me. It's almost as if someone was guiding us to this village.
Don't overthink advice. This person must be dreaming too.
It would appear that way, yes.
Can't say I'm very excited to go back there.
Perhaps you should spend less time complaining and more time getting on with the mission.
Yeah.
Since you were deaf and resist the urge to laugh. But no, it would sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? A box of my prison is tucked beneath a stairway in the long unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside I hear the sounds of a funeral dirge that plays without end. Light has no place here. Wind is a forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Time passes and eternity slips by in a single tick of the clock. Someone knocks on my prison. Anyone there? I hear an unfamiliar voice say. My saviour. I claw at the door of my jail, impeding the splinters under my rag nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. Sure, this is a product of my adult mind. Surely it cannot be true. Help me, I cry. For the love of all the gods, help me. Possibly I hear the sound of a lock being torn out and falling to the floor. When it creaks open, I've just enough time to see a silver-haired boy in a floating book before the light pours inside. Oh, we're telling this. Oh, this is from the point of view of the person in the dream. Just about this very pain, I force to turn away. Who are you, I ask. It's covering my face. How have you come to this place? I am Grimoire Vice. This is Kerrigan. I'm going to be searching for you. Now come stand, we should awaken from this nightmare together. One as he extends his hand and pulls me from the cell. My eyes are slow to adjust to freedom. My ears are keen as ever and they recognize the sounds of heavy rain. Never thought to hear that again. But that this were not such a terrible storm. Look at your feet. So I see the water just lapping my shins. So much of it, yes. The more comes each moment we delay and we do not make our good escape, we shall all drown in this castle. No, you're weak, but you're the only hope to survive this place. Time that long forgotten friend made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers no matter the cost. These catacombs are a maze twisting upon themselves like the endless entrails of a giant. Squint down the dim corridors and proceed north. Oh. At the end of the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopied beds resting atop a carpet of velvet. All are covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door to the next room come upon a shapeless mass of grey matter. It has been shoved against the side of the wall, and despite my fever, I think I see the outlines of a door just beyond. I reach out a finger and touch the piece of mass. It turns to dust and drifts away on the wind. Realization suddenly dawns and I fall to my knees and weep. I face a mountain of charred and crumbling corpses. I look from it to the beds and back again till the horrid dawns fall upon me. Someone has packed these bodies into a tower and set them ablaze. Whether they were alive or dead, I do not know. Sanity will not permit me to consider the proposition further. I make a sound whether scream or laughter, I cannot be certain. Then my mind grants me merciful blackness. I found myself opening the door and leaving that most terrible of rooms. Squint down the dim corridors and... going south takes me back to where I was going east. Proceed north. No. The end of the path, the water rises to my waist. Exhausting me both physically and spiritually. I pray that this is the way out. Eventually I can stand the sight the water's no longer, so I turn my eyes upward. Much of my surprise when I see a series of paintings hanging on the faded plaster wall. Each depicts a person in the prime of their life, clad in clothing of the highest quality. The styles, however, are strange to me, leading me to believe that these people had lived long, long ago. One subject wears an outfit that particularly catches my eye. It's constructed of a thin, breezy cloth and decorated with a motif of flowers and birds, while encircling the figure's waist is a leather belt of the most perfect construction. It is a stunning costume even by modern standards. As I gaze at the portrait, I'm struck by a desire to touch it with my own hands. As I extend I grip by the most unpleasant feeling. Staring closely at the image, I see it bend and warp into the shape of another finger. Something behind the picture is pointing at me. Is it another prisoner? A fellow inmate trapped for eternity in this place? I mean, there's another villager on the opposite side. Maybe, no. Can't let it pass, and so I seize the portrait with both hands and throw it into the water. The wall is hollow behind the painting, and inside I can just make out a body. Whether or not this is a prisoner, there will be no rescue. Poor soul is long dead. Maybe not. Straps of clothing lie on the floor around the bones. Only a small amount of the fabric has survived, but it features the same delicate designs that were depicted in the portrait. The remaining row of corpses blocks from view by portraits of each victim at the pinnacle. Enough. Shielding my eyes, I paddled forward through the water. Squint down the dim corridors and proceed south. I find myself in a great hall, only the sounds of rain for comfort. The waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the centre of the room. As I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rests china and silver of the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. My eyes continue to adjust to see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest. Noticing movement, I approach the chair at the table's head, but as the truth of the matter dawns on me, I recoil in horror. Most of the feast is a corpse, as are all the invited guests. An army of foul, wriggling insects have made home in their remains. This is the movement I saw. This once splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem for the damned. I took a moment to steady my shaking hands and slowly back away from the table. As to lose sight of the abomination before me, my gaze lands on the chairs upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake, for the chairs proved to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in a layer of spikes that run from the seat, up the back, down the arms. This explains the colour of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfortunate diners were dead when the meal began. But if not, it's as simple as to envision the agonizing screams that must have sprung forth from their mouths. My mind grasped frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime for which was punishment, though in truth I suspect they had committed no crime at all. There'd be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper. Against all hope, we make it to the front door. Break it down, someone cries, so I give myself to the effort. Tandem with Kodo Kid and Grimoire Vice, slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. On the third try, it gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled out on the ground outside the castle. The storm is in retreat, the clouds above are still dark and foreboding. To the west, I can see the thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. How can I thank you? I surely would have died in there. Looking down, I suddenly noticed that my dress is in tatters and sheepishly tried to cover my exposed skin. Your dress, Vice? Then you're a woman, madame? I am. I suppose that comes as a bit of surprise to you, as I exist only in the form of words. See, the one known as Kodo Kid is disappointed that the torn dress will be given no further description, but he hides it well. With a nod and a shrug, the three of us set forth to our awakening. But behind us, an awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing the countless damned souls inside with their final shroud. After a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As we watch in awe, uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. The castle's dead have awakened to their new life as shades.
You have anything to say about that?
Hopefully there will be no labyrinth next time.
I hear that.
Well, I mean, there's one more.
And another victim. This work certainly is trying.
I figured a book like you would be into all this word stuff, Vice.
Even I have my exceptions. Now let's be off.
This is no riddles. You know, a colony of massive sculptures was visible in the distance, their tall forms scraping against the sky. Vice and Kodo Kid had never seen such a sight, and their eyes widened as they tried to take it in.
Those buildings must be huge if we can see them from this far away. What do you think, Vice?
Vice considered his answer to some beat down on them with renewed ferocity.
Perhaps they are some manner of mirage.
Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an unexpected sight. He nodded and wiped the sweat off his brow, leaving a trail of sand in its place. He thought he'd never been so thirsty. Speaking of... The ancient road on which they walked was black and cracked with age. Here and there, thin wisps of grass pushed up through the rocky surface, as if to find those who had laid his material down over their home. The heat reflecting from the road made Kodo Kid lightheaded. His feet hurting, he crouched down to rest. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Is someone playing a joke on us or what? The complaining had already begun. I tried not to let his eyes rose too much. A joke, he said. No joke. This road leads to the city of art. Perhaps the pass itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work. You don't sound very sure of yourself there. Perhaps not, but thinking of it in this way might make it easier for you to bear. He glanced at Vice's grinning face, shook his head, and resumed walking. As time passed, Kodo Kid's feet grew more painful, and his throat drier than he thought possible. He tried not to look further than the next step ahead because the bright sunlight made him hesitant to trust his own senses. "You're definitely getting closer," said Vice in an effort to cheer his companion. "Yes, this much is certain." Encouraged, he lifted his gaze. Suddenly he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes wide open and his finger pointing in the distance. "Water!" "Water?" That's why it's preposterous. I don't see any water. "Over there, just look ahead of us. Look, the sun is reflecting off it." Without waiting for a response, he sprang to life and ran toward the site. What in the... There was no water, there was nothing but sand in every direction. Oh. He closed his eyes inside as Vice floated up behind him and chuckled softly. I believe this is known as a mirage, she said. Many a desert traveler have spoken of such things. He shook his head, bewildered. Suddenly he pointed off in the distance, his eyes wide open once more. There it is. I just missed it. Look, it's right there. Sprinting off again, leaving Vice with no choice but to follow. After a few minutes of running, he came to a halt. I would have sworn it was around here. Confused, he put his hands up to his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As soon as he stopped, he noticed a blue, shimmering pool of clear water just over the next rise. Without a shout, he bounded off in search of it. The chase continued for nearly an hour, until an exasperated Vice finally looked up to him and he struck him in the face with his cover. Enough, you blithering idiot. Stop this at once. There is no water here. His face clouded. There isn't? There is not, and perhaps next time you'll listen to me when I tell you as much. Ice paused for a moment, then continued speaking in a slightly kinder tone. However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. It seems we have arrived in the city of art. He looked up. Stretched out before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. Their journey was at an end. They're huge, he cried, completely forgetting the heat and pain of the past few hours. I've never seen anything so big. Each sculpture was formed from roughly the same shape, a tall rectangle that stretched up toward the sky. That is where the similarities ended. Most were covered with panes of glass that reflected the light in 1,000 directions, while others seemed to be nothing but frames of steel. Some had tall spines on their tops, while others possessed triangular capes. Caps. There was no E. What kind of city is this? Where are the people? Where are the houses? Perhaps the land is intended exclusivity for artistic use. Debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry were everywhere. Great iron crates with wheels sat silent on steel rails, beautifully carved with works with lights of red, amber and green dangled over every street. As they moved away from massive sculptures, they found an array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass or brick, but many were composed of materials they had never before encountered. The sheer variety of colours and styles was staggering. Unable to find a theme or purpose to the absent works around them, Kodakin and Vice eventually fell silent. On the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the shape of humans. He uttered a sigh of relief as he approached them. Finally, I was getting tired of modern art. There were 3 statues were indistinguishable except for a single word chiseled into their right arms. One read Alpha, one read Beta, and the final one read Gamma. As he moved to touch the nearest statue, a bird flew from the top of one of the sculptures. Alighting on the statue's shoulder, it emitted a brief, beautiful sound that took the form of words. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false one will only speak lies. That the bird departed, as if on cue, the 2 statues shuddered to life, quite in colour and form as they began to breathe. Look at that, they're alive. Triplets bowed low before him. Please, said Alpha, you have to get me out of this nightmare, I am real. Stop lying. He turns to him and threw his hands in the air. Alpha's the fake, you know, I'm the real one. What a load of crap, said Gamma. Beta is fake, everyone knows I'm the real one around here. The respective breezes came when the 3 statues returned to their frozen state as silence once again enveloped the city. When you consider all of the symbols, I knew one of them could reveal their vice. For his eyebrows and considered his answers. Only one form is real, the others are false. The other form will always speak the truth, the one false will always speak lies. Oh no, dude. I am actually at the point where I don't have a clue. This is definitely one of them where I just straight up don't have a clue. Much like the third riddle. It took a long and to try to clear his mind. On the outskirts of the city, to discover 3 sculptures in the shape of humans. With a sigh of relief as he approached them. I was getting tired of modern art. Ah, okay. The only one that mentioned like a nightmare is Alpha. Gamma only said that Beta is a fake. He never said Alpha is a fake. He only said one of them is a fake, not the other one. Same with Beta. I'm just gonna say Alpha. I mean, the night grew stronger until I was forced to turn away.
It would seem we failed.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
We'd best act more carefully next time.
this is the worst job ever.
And another...
Damn.
I
Okay.
figured a book like you would...
Even I...
Okay. Can you use...
What do you think, Vice?
Okay. Can't even like skip to the very like end question. Oh wait, you can if you just hold it. Okay, so I mean now I'm at 50-50 here, right? No, it was
Yeah.
We'd best...
Beta?
And
Really?
even...
Shit! It must be like a specific like way to tell and a reason why it's this one. He was relieved to see Vice nodding at him. Alpha and telling the truth began Beta and Gamma would be fakes, but in that case, Gamma's claim that Beta is fake would be the truth, even though Gamma is a liar, therefore that theory crumbles. Now let's presume that Gamma spoke the truth. That makes Alpha and Beta liars. In this situation, however, Beta is calling Alpha a liar, which would leave us with 2 statues telling the truth. Let's assume that Beta is telling the truth, so Gamma and Alpha's lies would make sense, therefore Beta must be real. Just to life once more. Congratulations, villager, said Vice in a cheerful voice. The time to awaken has arrived. The villager, he dropped to his knees and bowed his head as low as it could go before an uncomfortable Kodoki pulled him to his feet. Why did you have a dream like this? Said Vice. Have you been to the city before? The villager slowly looked around at bizarre objects and sculptures that dotted the landscape and then shook his head. I don't think so. I mean, it's impossible, right? There's no way I could have ever been to a place like this, but at the same time, I feel like I've seen it before. Deja vu, just like the mirror. The vague sense of unease that struck Kodoki during the mirror's dream spread once more through his mind.
That was rough.
I am positive I have seen that place before.
Very rough.
Okay, that's enough. Don't need you getting all weird on me too. Okay, there. Now all the villagers can wake up, right?
Yes, if the mayor's assumption was correct. I think I have had enough wordplay to last a lifetime. Thank you very much.
You're telling me. Anyway, let's go see the mayor.
wonderful. Thank you so much. Here, I have something for you.
One-handed sword faith.
Wow, this looks valuable. I can really have it?
Of course. It's apparently a weapon of some renown, but we have little use for it.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you again for everything.
It's not bad. It's getting up there in damage. But I mean, again, like mine's only level 1 as well, and it's 170 to 172. 40% magic power. That's 20%. Oh man, what a bit there. Okay, not a bad first day of playing. Not a bad first day of playing. I mean, at level 13. I don't know any sort of like progress or what's like an ideal like thing after playing this long. We can see now 8 hours and 43. So very close to 9 hours. Oh jeez. And there's going to be a lot more to get through. We guys still got tomorrow, which is Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it's 5 days. More kind of see how far we can kind of get with this, you know, where we can end up. And then on Friday, Returnal comes out. I'm gonna honestly like imagine that. I don't think I'd finish this before Friday. I don't know. Like I mean, it depends whether I end up putting in like 9 hours each time that I play. I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe so. I mean, I honestly would like to have RE7 played and finished before Returnal as well. Whereas I honestly should have played that before this came out. So then I can have more free reign and more free time for these two. And then I can just jump straight into obviously Village when it comes out. So we'll see. Anyway, we're back